Hey guys, Taryn Thompson here from Christchurch, New Zealand. Tonight we're going to be talking about PMS and cellulite. Look, if this is an issue for you and amongst a whole lot of other symptoms, then tonight is exactly what you need to hear. You may not even have known that the two were related. I'm going to give you 3 things you can do to fix that problem. It's a problem that I hold very close to my heart. It took me a long time to figure this one out, and now I feel quite passionate to help other women who are experiencing similar symptoms to overcome that same problem. Look, this is for you if you also find that cyclically you get a little bit depressive, if you find that you can't quite put your finger on why, but it started to become a problem a little while ago and then it just has gotten worse and worse. You may not realize that there are also some other symptoms that go along with estrogen dominance, and really that is what we're looking at. So you can have have this problem in 2 different areas. It can be a problem that your body is having excreting estrogen, or you can have a problem with your ovaries themselves. And you may have an inkling that that's the idea, but basically what you want to get out of tonight is 3 things that you can do to start to improve the problem, and for some of you it'll actually fix the problem and knock it on its head. So thanks for coming on live tonight, guys. Hey Pi, hey Eric, good to see you, brother. Okay, so here are the 3 things that I did. The first one is that I shifted my focus from losing weight to supporting my liver. So what you might not realize is that there are 2 detox pathways in the liver, and so as the liver is doing its job and detoxing or converting waste, old substances, toxins, impurities into forms that your body can excrete, it's got to go through 2 pathways. And so in those 2 detox pathways, the liver requires different things in order to complete the process. And so in the first, if we were to just really oversimplify it, just for the purposes of understanding, let's say that one of those detox pathways needs nutrients, a heck of a lot of them, especially protein or amino acids, and let's say the second pathway needed antioxidants. So as estrogens are moving through that first detox pathway, if there's not enough nutrients, it can't complete the process and it won't move through that second detox pathway, so the liver spits it back out into the bloodstream, and now you've got not just estrogen, but you've also got recycled estrogen. So it's in a form that the body really doesn't like. And the problem with estrogen is that it's not considered a priority by the liver to deal with anyway, because it's something that you make. It's not toxic, it's not a poison, and so the liver's not going to prioritize excreting it. So making sure that your liver has enough nutrients so that it does make it a priority will help your body to flush that through. I find it hilarious, just by the way, that there are men on here tonight. You guys must be in relationships and needing to get this problem sorted in your life indirectly. Okay, so if that was helpful, let me know. If you did not know that this was related to the liver, if you did not realize that these symptoms were an estrogen problem, then give me some feedback so that I know that this is of value to you. Supporting the liver and its detox pathways is really, really essential to making sure you're not dealing with recycled estrogen. And we can definitely pinpoint that PMS is a problem with estrogen that is recycling. So these symptoms just should scream out to you that helping the body to excrete it firstly is a priority, and the answer to that is through your liver. So making sure that you're getting enough nutrients is key. I made sure that I was doing that a few different ways until I landed on something that was more sustainable. I tried juicing, and I juiced for quite some time. I invested in a really good juicer, a cold press juicer, and the problem was though is that it took so much longer in the morning for me to get that sorted, to so many moving parts to a juicer and just having to clean it. Eventually my motivation to continue juicing just wore down, so I didn't really find that very sustainable, although I loved the benefits of juicing, vegetables that is. Then I tried blending greens into my smoothies or my shakes in the morning, so I would often add spinach into the shakes, and then really just basically over time I got sick of the taste of greens in my shakes or in my smoothies that I was making. So I found that it got quite expensive as well to buy all the different elements to my smoothie, and I found that just having to do that extra spend on making sure that the smoothie was whole, honestly, it just became a little bit unsustainable, and so that didn't last for too long. So I landed on using shakes, and the shakes that I found, they just totally fit my criteria. I never thought that I would ever use pre-packeted shakes in terms of a long-term strategy, but I found out I have celiacs, and so it's just made me become even more stringent to what it is that goes in, and it's got to be convenient but without compromising on nutrients. So I found a shake that was whole foods, all whole foods, cold pressed, soy free, dairy free, obviously gluten free, and contains the equivalent in nutrients to 3 to 5 plates of organic food. And so that's really how I've made it sustainable in my life. I eat 5 meals a day, and I replace 2 of those meals with shakes. And so I'm only having to meal prep 3 or 2 meals plus 1 snack. So that's how I've made it sustainable. I also, I put fish oil, I took fish oil regularly anyway, but the liver really, really benefits from having essential fatty acids. In fact, every part of your body benefits, but the liver needs those essential fatty acids to have both those detox pathways open and thriving. And so I increased the amount of fish oil I was taking from 2 a day to 4 a day. So I'm getting 4 grams of essential fatty acids, omega-3. Okay, so that was the first thing I did. I shifted my focus from losing weight to supporting my liver. Of course, I did lose weight, but just the focus was the change there. There is such a thing as losing weight, but not supporting the liver, just to be clear. Okay, so second thing I did was a nutritional cleanse. This was a massive, massive breakthrough for me. I had been health coaching for 8 years, and I specialized in helping women who had problems with hormones because I had a problem with my hormones, and it was my biggest bugbear. And I found that I was able to get smaller when I would lose weight, but I always had a problem with cellulite. Now, along my journey, I realized that my issue was my body being able to excrete estrogen. I had, although I could get smaller, I couldn't get rid of the cellulite. And I also had a problem with PMS and ovarian cysts and so I often also found that cyclically I would get a little bit depressive, and so the more that I learned about it, the more that I learned that the symptoms all grouped together are a problem with estrogen dominance, or the body being able to excrete estrogen. So nutritional cleansing just really, really helped my body to be able to excrete estrogen really efficiently, to the extent where I literally have lost about, let's say, 80% of the cellulite that I had, and that has been in the last 10 months ago is when I first decided that I would give nutritional cleansing a go. It's like intermittent fasting, but the difference is that it's a nutritionally supported cleanse. So instead of being completely fasted intermittently throughout the day, your body's getting amino acids, and this was a total fit for me value-wise, because I know that the liver requires those amino acids to be thriving detox-wise. And remember, the focus shifted from losing weight to supporting my liver. So nutritional cleansing was a massive, massive breakthrough for me. I have never ever had this little cellulite for as long as I could remember. PMS is also something that used to plague me, and I found it incredibly difficult, and I'm sure that my husband did also. I found it incredibly difficult to manage the the aftermath of me, and it's just not a nice feeling, because you know that it's not you. yet your hormones are taking over. This is also relevant for women who are going through menopause. So if you're a woman going through menopause, as your ovaries start to shut down that function of producing those hormones, it's your adrenals, your adrenal glands that take over that function, and that rewiring, that reconnection from the pituitary to the adrenals used to be pituitary to the ovaries, but now your body has to relearn that function, and so hot flushes tend to be the result. And so premenopause, PMS, menopause, hot flushes. Okay, so very similar solutions to the problem there. Okay, also what a lot of us don't realize is that when the liver refuses to deal with all the estrogens, and if the liver doesn't have enough nutrients to convert estrogen through that second detox pathway, and then it gets pushed back into the bloodstream as a recycled estrogen, then the body can't leave it in the bloodstream. Like, it's got to come out, it's got to go somewhere, and so it'll put it inside the fat cell. And that's where you get that, that real kind of narrower waist and stubborn fat along the hips, around the hips, butt and thighs, especially that cellulite kind of fat. So we're not just talking about the shape, but we're talking about the shape plus the cellulite on the hips, butt and thighs. You also know it's an issue because your lower abdomen will be saggier than, say, in the upper abdomen area. So a bit of a pouchy, bit of a lower abdomen thing going on there. All right. Third, I cleaned up my environment with estrogen mimicking things. So this is one of those things that I recommend approaching from whatever you decide to do. You don't necessarily need to do it all at once, but just think about what you can implement consistently. So for a start, I changed my skincare because the skin's the largest organ on the body, and whatever goes on the skin goes right into the bloodstream. And the problem with that is a lot of the chemicals that come in through the skin mimic themselves as estrogen. So they kind of look like estrogen molecule-wise, like structurally they look like estrogen, but they're not quite estrogen. But the body gets confused, which is where you get the term estrogen mimicking. And so that was one thing I did, is I changed my skincare. I also changed my soap, so use a natural soap. And maybe once upon a time they used to be really expensive, but they're just as price competitive as the chemical version of soap. So I switched to that. The other thing that I did, and this took a little longer for me to find one that I was happy with, was deodorant. Look, right underneath the armpits is a whole accumulation of lymph nodes, and so you got to think, like, the liver's going to use your lymph nodes as an exit strategy for sweat. And we want those lymph nodes to be healthy, clear, and open, because it's a way that your body uses to eliminate toxins. And if you apply deodorant to that area, you're applying a chemical directly to an area that the liver is trying to excrete with, right? And so it took a while, because at the same time, I didn't want to smell, and so it took a while, but I did eventually find one that I liked and was chemical free and aluminium free, which is real key. So I would just recommend that you start with whatever you consistently can change and just find an alternative for. So those were the three things that I did. I shifted my focus from losing weight to supporting the liver, made sure that I was getting enough nutrients, and instead of juicing or adding vegetables to my smoothies in the morning, I just found a shake that fitted my criteria. If you want to know what those are, send me a message. I'm happy to share. I did a nutritional cleanse to eliminate toxins, and so it's a supported intermittent fast. So instead of doing a straight fast, I did one that was supported by using cutting out meals, and instead having snacks that were amino acid based to keep my liver optimally detoxifying, blood sugar levels stable, also to help my body flush out estrogens efficiently. I also then cleaned up my environment by using natural products on my skin. And so those were the three things that I believe have made the biggest difference. And I've seen the result of that since I started doing these three things all together. I did lots of these separately, but all these three things together, the biggest influencer being nutritional cleansing, packed a massive punch 10 months ago when I gave it a 30-day trial. Now, I have tried a lot. So if you want to reach out to me and have a conversation about that, then let me know. There's some other things that I did as well, like homeopathic remedies have also been extremely useful. So if you want to have a chat to me about some of your symptoms and let me point you in the right direction, even give you some tips that are outside of this conversation, then reach out to me, send me a private message, send me an email or text, however it is that you prefer to communicate with me, and I could talk about this stuff all day long. So, guys, thanks for coming on tonight. Jasmine, great to see you. And Aubrey, great to see you on too. Thanks for your support, guys. I really appreciate it. I'm here every Tuesday and Thursday to provide you guys with what you need to be able to move forward in the health area of your life. If you've got goals that you want to crush this year, then let me know where it is that you need support. I really appreciate your feedback and your engagement, and if you're getting value from these, then please share. Help me to expand my reach and have more people tuning in and getting value from and just changing their health situation and best case scenario, changing their lives like mine has been changed. Hey Beck, great to see you on tonight as well, fellow health coach, fellow life changer. There's something special about women who have had this shift in their life who then want to share that with other women. So on that note, have a fantastic rest of your week, and I will see you next Tuesday. See you later.